So we are going to be patterning out a female vest. So we start out, she brought these.
So grab your Cheetos and...
Thanks for the peanut gallery, or Cheeto gallery. So she brought a normal pattern. We've split it down the middle because we want to mirror image everything. So normally, this is, you can see, is really too big for her. But that's where we started. We went through, we trimmed and marked down her collarbone area. We found at the end of the clavicle, that's a really good spot for her line to come down and around to the side, marked her side lines and trim the vest. So, and this is the part where I remembered, hey, we should probably film this. So, we've now got the piece that's now trimmed down. I've marked it out for seam allowance. I don't know if you can see this with the pink marker, but from about just below the armpit, we're going to come down right across the top of the breast and then drop back down to the belt line.
It's like a cooking video.
Okay, now we'll come over here and I'll see if I've got this so that you can actually see. Hopefully this is working because I don't want to have to do this another time. So, here. So now we've got the lines in pink there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it down, following that one. Now, we've got these two pieces. What I want to make sure to do when we transfer this out onto our material that we're going to make it is that this line here we mirror, and this line on the inside we add our seam allowance. So this is mirror, this is seam allowance, going that direction. I've already marked on the pattern seam allowance going around the corner, so I built that into this piece. I was just going to make sure I add about ½ an inch, since we're going to be doing this out of leather, for these two pieces. Now we're going to do the same thing for the back side, except not bring the neck down. Now I'm specifically making the neck smaller than it will actually end up being because I want to start small, and then once I've got the two pieces together, I'm going to slowly put it over her head until it gets to where it's just barely going by. That way, with the seam allowance allowed, it will make it easy to get her head on and off, but then it won't make the neck hole very large. Did I say something wrong?
Your head on and off.
Oh, the best on and off your head without making the neck hole humongous. So that's the front. We're going to do the same thing over here on the back. Go ahead, turn it back around. I'm going to take the other side that she had, and we're going to utilize that. So I'm going to come back. Julie, can you hold this down here straight on the front? Here.
That's
Now
straight,
the
or
back.
crooked? That's crooked.
The back neck is going to be a shallower neck, and then I'm going to follow right down the top. Again, follow from right at the end of the clavicle, come down and around to about the same spot. And then on the back, for girls, since girls are generally a lot curvier than guys are, I normally go from about the same spot that I did on the front, but instead of going curved, I'm just going to come with a straight line at an angle. And then I figure out where her natural waistline, she's got jeans on, so that's a really good spot to indicate. And I follow that jean line around to the side.
Why'd you choose pink?
Well, it's the only colored pencil I had handy. So, then we turn this around. I don't know if this is working or not. Hopefully it's
working.
live.
There's like one person watching. I guess they got up early.
Yeah. This
It was
will be a
cosplay
nice
night
little
last
peek.
night.
Yeah, cosplay night. Then I'm going to cut off the excess.
It's fast.
Oh, you know what?
Bacon cookies.
I gotta make sure. Put in the seam allowance around it, and then again on this line here. Hopefully, is that? I can't tell if that's in frame. Is it
Yeah,
in frame?
you're in frame.
Okay. So this line again, we're going to make sure when we transfer it, we're going to add seam allowance to it. And this line is mirror. I need to add seam allowance on that one because I accidentally cut it without thinking about adding seam allowance. And so that's the basic pattern for front and back. Boom, boom.
So what materials are you using for that?
She brought leather. Leather is awesome. It
No,
doesn't
I'm talking about
fluff
your
around.
pattern
Oh, the
piece.
pattern? This is what? Pattern fabric? Stuff
But
that
you can
get
use
at
like
Joann's.
regular paper or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I normally just look. She's like, I've already got that part done. It's awesome. So we got this part. This is currently a little long, which is fine because we're going to wrap it around. One of the reasons that I do this side long is that we will add straps from the back side. When you put it on, it'll kind of go on like a tunic. All right, so this is part 2. So now we've got the pieces mirror imaged out. We've cut. We've added the seam allowance and whatnot. That's the front, and there's the back. Now I'm not going to actually videotape through the whole assembly of this because that takes hours, but basically what you're going to do is take the parts off here. We're going to sew this starting up, at the corner, follow all the way down and sew that right side to right side. Then you'll fold it out and then do a flat fill down over the edge for both of these sides. You'll do the same thing over here on the back side. So you'll lay it like this, minus the pattern material, obviously. And you'll sew that down, fold it over, stitch it down. Then you sew the tops together, so you'll have the top on both sides. So let's say these were sewn together. And you'll sew the edge there and there, flip it back out, do a flat fill. And this is kind of how it looks once you've got up to that point and a little bit past that point. So this is Julia's vest that we've got over here. So sewing it down, coming back with a flat fill. Then you want to determine what other shoulder style you want, whether or not you want tabs like the bells, or you want just a straight tab. If you're going to have a big piece of armor that the shoulder bell is completely gone, you don't have to worry about this. You could just sew in a piece. But when you do that, this piece you sew right side, fold over. And when you fold it over to do the flat fill, you follow that seam all the way down to the side. So that's done. Then on the inside, oh, and also figure out your neck hole opening, because as I was saying over here on your pattern, let me move the pieces over here. We made these necklines specifically a little small. So once you've got the top pieces together, try putting it over the person's head, and you keep trimming a little bit more and a little bit more until you get just enough that they can go over the top. Then I like to sew in neck seals. If you're going to sew it in, long strip all the way around, we put it on her, then you hem the top so that it evens out, because if you look at it from the side, it's shorter here than it is in the front because of the dip. On this one, around in the back, we added in a Velcro closure so she can get it on and off without killing her hair. And you can see the back is sewn in. We've also Velcroed in her comma. I'm going to have her put this on. Is she standing over here? I think your snap's still on the back. So one of the things that I do, back here, we add a clip. So for the girls, I like to do kind of a corseted top with that front. And as you see, the side here, we have a strap. She's going to be able to get that positioned, clip it behind her, and then she can snug it up, get everything. Let's pick it up a little bit so that the edge there. Cool. And then the sides, we put the Velcro in, and her comma Velcros into the bottom strip of this, and then all of her waist items are going to cover that completely up, and attaches. And so nice and fitted. Again, all of this is going to have her waist items covering. We haven't actually hemmed the bottom of the front yet because we don't know how long she wants it. She may add her cod plate to that, she may add a loincloth sewn in underneath the waist items and whatnot. But then go ahead and do a spin real quick so they can see how it sits up. Nice and fitted. If you needed to on the back, you could add extra darts, but that's what this line actually does, is helps dart the inside, and you go that route. So after that, it's all just sewing. So awesome. Next place, we're going to add a bunch of this awesome little teeny tiny armor.